So I want to do a video about this monitor. But usually that ends up me rambling along, talking about all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to try a more scripted version. Issue is, I'm not a native English speaker, I'm from Germany, so I have my key facts. I used ChatGPT to make a nice sounding script, all the points I had for this monitor, and then I will use an AI voiceover tool. And let's see how this works. So here we go.
All right, let's talk about the Portkeys HD7H. At just 93 euros on Amazon in Germany, or $79 from Portkeys directly, it's one of the most affordable 7-inch monitors out there right now. But don't let the price fool you. This thing packs a surprising punch for the money. First up, the screen. It's a 7-inch 8-bit 720p panel, which is okay, and it cranks up to 1000 nits of brightness. That means it's perfectly usable outdoors, even in direct sunlight. And the matte finish? A small but welcome feature. You don't have to fight reflections like you do with most glossy screens. For connectivity, it's got the basics. One HDMI input and even an AV input for older cameras or gear. The HDMI supports up to 4K UHD up to 30p. There is a 3.5mm audio output for headphones, but the audio has a noticeable delay, which has more to do with the HDMI output from the camera. There is also a USB Type-A port for firmware updates. For power, you've got two options. You can use a standard NP-F battery or a DC power input for 7.4 to 24 volts. Now let's talk about the build. It's made from a mix of ABS and polycarbonate, so it's lightweight but still tough enough for field use. It weighs just 280 grams or 9.91 ounces. There are 3/4-inch mounting points, one on the bottom, left, and right sides. The menu is simple and controlled entirely with buttons. No touchscreen here, but that's totally okay. You can control the basic functions like contrast, sharpness, tint, chroma, color temperature, brightness, and backlight image adjustment settings. There is a surprisingly nice little set of features. Luma Histogram, false color, peaking, grids, crosshair, check field, guides, exposure clip guides, and even anamorphic D-squeeze. 1.33 times, 1.5 times, 2.0 times, and custom aspect ratio from 0.25 to 4.0 times. Activating those features is a bit odd though, since you only have the buttons on top to navigate the menu, and you only have two user-assignable function button setting options. But you can activate more functions permanently in the menu, but it's not that intuitive to do that. When you activate peaking, the image turns black and white. I'd say it's a bit rough, but still usable if you need peaking to check focus. There is one little kind of odd issue with the aspect ratios. In the anamorphic options in the full setting, the image is a bit stretched. And if you set this to the one-time setting, the image does not use the full monitor width. This is a bit strange, but not a deal breaker. Just keep in mind that things look a bit stretched. Round objects are a little oval, for example. Maybe something that could be fixed with a firmware update. I tested this with the Sony Alpha 6700 and Alpha 7S3. The issue was the same with both cameras. The screen's color reproduction was actually a pleasant surprise. For an 8-bit panel at this price, I wasn't expecting much, but the colors are accurate enough for framing and exposure. It's not a reference monitor, but for everyday shooting, totally solid. So who's this for? If you're a budget filmmaker, content creator, or anyone just looking for a no-nonsense monitor to add to your kit, the HD7H is an easy recommendation. It's not trying to compete with high-end monitors, but for under 100 bucks, it checks all the right boxes. Look, the Portkeys HD7H isn't perfect. It's missing advanced features like LUT support or waveforms, but at this price, you're getting a lightweight, bright, and reliable monitor with decent color reproduction and just enough features to get the job done. That's it for this review. If you've got any questions about the Portkeys HD7H or my gear in general, drop them in the comments.
Right, so what do you think? Did this actually kind of work? I thought it would be less work because me talking to the camera and the English and stuff like that, the editing process, as you can see here, lots of jump cuts, is kind of a mess sometimes. And I thought using AI tools, voiceover tools, using ChatGPT to make a script out of my notes about this monitor, it was not really faster. And also I think the personal touch, me talking to you, kind of got lost with that. Now it's kind of replaceable, right? So yeah, I'm not quite sure. Let me know in the comments what you think. Was this any better? I mean, it kind of was on point, not rambling along like this one now, but I think it wasn't human, so to say. So I'm not quite sure what to do with that. Maybe a mixture of both. I have a new monitor right now here that is not released yet. Quite nice one actually. And I will make a video about that, but I might go back to real talk, so to speak, and not using AI anymore for that kind of stuff. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one, I guess. And also back to work.